So here we are, Fort Lauderdale Boat Show, day one for 2025. It was a disaster of a day, but guess what? It rains, nothing goes according to plan, and that's pretty much owning a boat 101. Right now, however, though, we are on board a Sunreef 80, listed with Paramount Yachts. Riva, principal of the company. He's a competitor of mine, but he's pretty much one of the greatest guys in the industry as well. So we're always bouncing ideas off of each other. We're always talking about product reviews and trends, so it's really, really cool. These boats, these Sunreefs in particular, they are the leader in the class. It is a market segment that is getting very, very competitive. There's more and more boats being built, not necessarily that they're really being built that great. When you buy any power catamaran, you always have to worry about where you're gonna dock it. If there's breakage, where is it gonna get fixed? There's drastic limitations to this. But the platform it gives you for a lot of space in a much smaller footprint than a super yacht with less crew and great fuel efficiency and autonomy, it really is something that you should be considering if you are in the market for an 80 to 120 foot boat right now. So really quickly, we are gonna introduce our competitor and my friend Rob, and hopefully he takes it easy on me as we're launching this program. But we're gonna get some perspective from someone else because, you know, he's better looking than I am and he has a unique aspect on the industry that I might not have. My stunt double here next to me, we are introducing him as Rob Reva, formerly of Sunreef Yachts, now the principal of Paramount Yachts. He was just telling me many of his experience with the builder, many of his experiences sailing the seas, and he told me that his toes look a lot better than mine because he got a pedicure. I've never gotten one in my life. So that's the type of guy Rob is. Rob, anything to say on the matter to start this interview off?
I got nothing to say other than pan down, baby. Pan down! Let's go! Gotta get the pedicure before the boat show, man. It's disgusting, people walking around with those toes.
Something I've never thought for preparation. I'm too busy.
Also, critical prep. Nobody wants to talk to a broker with bad breath ever. So you better have this in your pocket.
Don't tell me that's what just reminded
Help
you.
Help yourself out, buddy. Help yourself out. Not Sunreef, but all of them have some modicum of conflict of interest when you go direct. And so whether you're using Yacht Zero, whether you're using Paramount, another brokerage that you trust, it is always, always, always to your benefit. And this is something I said when I worked there. I would whisper it a little bit, but you know, it's always to your benefit to have an independent rep that's not just looking out for you prior to signing the contract, negotiating all the terms, going through the spec sheet, going through the bill process, but through project management. I mean, that can be a painful 2 years if you don't have someone looking out for you on the back end. And then of course through delivery. So, you know, your question was like, how are things different? I'd say that that's kind of one of the things that remains the same. Obviously, when you work for a shipyard, that's your employer, and you can't necessarily be as candid as you'd like to be about you know, the benefits of having an independent rep. But you know, now that I'm on the other side, I also don't have to sell a Sunreef to somebody that may be on the fence between monohull and motor yacht, right? There's a really nice freedom associated that you know very well, and you've done a phenomenal job of at being able to be agnostic, you know, informative, educating your client, but having really no dog in the race, right? No horse in the race. Do they race dogs? That might be illegal, I don't know.
Dog racing is illegal in Florida,
yeah.
But kind of tying that together, that's our whole business model, right? We want to be as unbiased as possible, and we want to protect the client at the end of the day. Your story about when you work for the shipyard, having someone, I've bought power catamarans from other builders with clients where they showed up with no cushions. We've built San Lorenzos that took 18 months, and as you're taking the boat for delivery, there's still 800 issues wrong that weren't told to you along the process. So, you know, salt and sun is tough on our skin, it's tough on boats. The people that go into boat building, boat servicing can be very, very challenging. So it's just things you have to be conscientious up front. And because we've seen these mistakes made so many times, it's just something that there's no reason, especially when most of the time you're not even paying someone for this service. It's included as part of when you are buying the boat through your own independent representation.
Yeah, every time. I mean, shipyards bake that into the price. It costs you nothing. You know, it's really a no-brainer. There's absolutely no reason why you would go direct. And I literally got off the phone with an owner 2 days ago that just took delivery of, I will not name the brand, no, it's not a Sunreef, But they just took delivery of a boat. It's been 5 months. They're already looking to sell it, and they said word for word, I will never build another boat again without having someone on my side of the table, because it has just been an uphill battle from the beginning. So yeah, I mean, we don't have to beat a dead horse.
We don't have to beat a dead horse, but that's the reality of what happened during COVID, right? During COVID, remember how hard it was for you to find people to work for your business? It was no different with shipyards, okay? People were sick, people were spread working on other projects, and a lot of stuff just kind of got pushed along. And because there was a line for the first time ever, we'll deal with it later. So a lot of these COVID boats, you had some time to dial it in, but it was a lot of frustration for the people that paid top dollar and waited. So that's just something we've learned along the way. On top of that, Rob, you've been on the sailing end, you've been on the power catamaran end, you've been in Europe, you've been in the Caribbean. Are there any trips that you have coming up with clients over the next couple months of where you're on a boat for an extended amount of time and you're like, you know, I kind of like this better on one of the other models, or it makes you think twice about the product once you're an end user?
Yeah, another good question. I have the pleasure of spending a week with family and friends, not clients, on a Sunreef 60 a couple of years ago, a 60 sail in the Caribbean, and I have another one coming up in 2 months on, again, a 60 sail, just a charter in the Caribbean, which we all enjoy. I love the catamaran platform, okay? I mean, right now we are on, by far, the best value in the market, Ellen's Dream, 80-foot power cat, 2020. You walk around, aesthetically it looks brand new. I mean, there's not one thing you can point to that would make it seem like it's a 2020. You're here right now, you can tell me if I'm wrong. But more importantly, it's $2 million less than the second least expensive 80 power in the market. And it has brand new engines and brand new generators installed a week ago. So those are gonna have 2-year warranties on it. I mean, that's a warm and fuzzy. The boat, it's purring. You can barely even hear the engine when it's on. So, look, obviously I've sold these boats for a long time. I have a little bit of a bias because I know what I love about them, and there are ways to insulate yourself from the things that don't work just by repairing and having the right guidance on the front end. But I've had meaningful time spent on a Fed ship with a client that was 150 feet. It was 35 years old, and I mean, I never heard anyone walking on the main deck when I was in my room. I mean, those are solid, beautiful boats, right? So it's a tough question to ask. I don't have a ton of, do you have a ton of clients where you just like get to hang out on their boats for weeks at a time?
Yes, all the time.
Unbelievable.
I'm the biggest freeloader.
Do I just have the worst clients of all time?
No, you're just not the best guy. So that's kind of what it boils down to.
Classic. They have your nasty toes on their boat for weeks at a time?
Yeah, now this is going to be broadcast on the internet, and this is, you know, I don't know.
Unbelievable.
But the last thing I just want to talk about with you while we're here, because I know you have to go back to actually doing work instead of hanging around this whole time, is running the business now, right? You and I talk about it all the time. Being younger guys with small companies that are growing in this industry, it's really hard when it was just you. Now you have clients with boats with problems. You have team members that run into problems themselves as they're not as advanced or good. Where do you think is your end goal, and where's Rob Riva going to be in 5 years in this space for the viewers at home to see?
Yeah, I mean, the goal is, I don't have these ambitious goals to make Paramount Yachts the next, you know, insert large brokerage here, Burgess, Dennison, etc. I love being able to give my clients the one-on-one attention I give them. All my clients get VIP passes to the boat show. All my clients I know and I'm intimate with. I mean, whether they're inviting me on their boat for weeks at a time or not, some do, not all of them. Apparently I'm not special enough. But I actually do love the personal touch that a niche, kind of affinity, luxury, boutique brokerage can offer. And that's the goal, is to just continue to grow that, but grow that at a pace that does not sacrifice or you know, take away from the level of service and quality that I can provide the clients. You know, it's very similar to what you're doing. That's
the exact same philosophy. You treat the client the right way, and they become multiple purchases, right? For an 80 Sunreef, chances are you're gonna have a 30-foot tender that goes alongside of it. After you enjoy it for 3 years, you're gonna have a 110-foot Sunreef. So none of this is out of the realm of possibility. The reason why I get along with him so well is because he's so good at what he does. He's a good guy. He sees the value of putting the client first. So again, that's gonna be the theme of everything that we fire off to you guys for years to come here. But again, we've seen it, we've seen the mistakes, and there's no reason to make it 100-something plus transactions between us, and there's no reason why we don't want to be representing you when it's time for you to buy your next boat. Anything else, Rob, before we sign off here?
Stay dry out there.
Thank you.